Pessoal, o vídeo de hoje vocês vão amar. Eu entrevistei uma das personalidades mais incríveis na área da persuasão, uma personalidade internacional que chama Robert Cialdini. Para quem não conhece, o Robert Cialdini é o maior, não vou falar o maior, mas é um dos maiores especialistas na área de persuasão no mundo. Ele é autor do best-seller Armas da Persuasão. O cara já vendeu mais de 3 milhões, gente, de livros. Então, pense em alguém que entende sobre persuasão, é essa pessoa. Ele viaja o mundo inteiro dando palestra, ensinando vários executivos tops a como ter esse skill, que é uma das qualidades mais incríveis que a gente tem que aprender a adquirir, que é como você consegue convencer alguém de uma ideia, de um projeto, de um produto que você quer vender. E eu tive a oportunidade de ver uma palestra dele. Uma das coisas que mais me chamaram a atenção é que ele falou sobre como você consegue persuadir, né, as pessoas. E tem ele falou várias coisas na palestra, mas uma que me chamou muita atenção e que eu concordo muito é que antes de você tentar vender e convencer a pessoa de alguma coisa, você tem que primeiro oferecer algo para aquela pessoa. Tanto é, gente, que olha que legal. Eu vou tirar uma foto depois aqui e vou mostrar. Ele dá um cartão, o cartão de visita dele tem já 6 armas da persuasão, tem 6 dicas de como você faz para persuadir ou para convencer alguém. Por que ele falou isso, né, o cartão dele? Que é uma coisa que não custou quase nada para ele, que ele já entrega alguma coisa de valor para aquela pessoa. Antes dele conhecer, antes dele, qualquer contato que ele faça, ele já entrega o cartão dele, já tem alguma coisa no cartão dele. Eu achei muito legal essa dica. E hoje vocês vão conferir essa minha entrevista com ele. E eu vou deixar também aqui no link do vídeo o livro dele, o site dele, para quem quiser conhecer um pouquinho mais sobre ele. Mas para quem quer entender, para quem quer conhecer um pouco mais sobre esse assunto, vale a pena. A gente entra na página dele, pesquisa um pouco mais sobre ele, porque ele é um cara muito fera nessa área. Então agora vocês vão ter essa chance incrível de ver essa entrevista, gente, com esse cara que é top e que não foi fácil conseguir. What is the best persuasion advice you can say to people who's watching this video? Pessoal, hoje vou ter a honra de ter o maior especialista de persuasão do mundo aqui no programa, o Robert Cialdini. Estou muito feliz, ele é autor do best-seller Armas da Persuasão. Ele deu um show aqui no evento de ebulição hoje, foi incrível, ele compartilhou várias dicas super valiosas e eu vou perguntar algumas coisinhas para ele. Robert, thank you very much to be here with me in the show. I'm very happy and I have a few questions for you. The first one is, what is must have for a business to work out?
What is most difficult for them?
Yes.
You know, I think it is not the development of their products or services. It's the communication of their best features, the thing about their products and services that would make people want to obtain them.
And for all content that we share, what's most relevant and important?
It's the ethics of the process of influence. If we're not honest, if we're not ethical in the presentation of what we have to offer, we produce a very short-term success. People will say yes because we fooled into assent, but they won't stay with us if they see that they've been fooled. So the key is always to be ethical in the presentation, so that instead of convincing people, we educate people as to why they should want our products and services.
And what was the most remarkable moment of your career so far?
The most remarkable moment, I think, has to do with something that occurred before I wrote my new book. My previous book was all about what to put into a message, what to place in terms of principles of influence in your communication to get people to move in your direction. And then one day, there was a knock at my door, and I opened it to find a man who was asking me to contribute to a particular charity. And it was for after-school programs for young children, to have education programs after school for kids whose parents were working and still needed a place to be at school. And he didn't show me any credentials, anything to that he was part of this program, and I hadn't heard anything about it in my local schools. But I gave him more money than I normally do. And after I closed the door, I asked myself, what did he do? What was in his message that made me say yes? And I realized it wasn't anything in his message. It was something that he did before he delivered his message. He brought his 7-year-old daughter with him. And he focused me on children. And now I was ready to give to a cause involving children because of what he did first. So that idea caused me to write my new book, which is called Persuasion instead of Persuasion. What do you do before you deliver your message to make people open to it?
We think what you did before is more important than what you do after.
They are. I think what we do before is equally important to what we do after.
Okay. Wow. If you read an article about you in 5 years' time, what did you like it was writing? What would you like to see?
What would I like them to see in this? That this set of ideas has given us something new to think about in terms of the influence process. Not something that we've already known that he has described better than other people. No, something different that we can think about now in addition to what we already know.
Which most valuable lesson have you learned from a mistake?
I think the most valuable lesson, I'll answer that in terms of what most communicators do, and that's a mistake, and that is to try to use a favorite influence strategy. Right? And the truth is, that's a mistake. We shouldn't use any one influence strategy. We should look at every situation as different and decide which approach to use based on who it is that we're dealing with, what the challenges are that those people face, what the situation is, and then make a decision about how to best approach the situation and the people in that situation.
Nice. What is the best persuasion advice you can say to people who's watching this video?
Well, I think one thing that we often forget to do is to mention something that is a weakness in our case, as well as all the strengths of our case. When we mention something that is, let's say we're more expensive, or our idea takes a little longer to accomplish than rivals, people register us as honest immediately. And that allows us now to present our strongest features when people believe those strongest features more deeply than before.
Wow. Thank you very much, Robert. Se você gostou desse vídeo, eu tenho certeza que você aprendeu muito, gente. Maior especialista de persuasão do mundo aqui no canal. Curte esse vídeo, compartilha, se inscreve se você não está inscrito e a gente se vê no próximo vídeo.